And we're back with Unforgettable Conversations. Guys, we're doing another Lito's Room, another book review. I think I'm going to start calling this like my little book club, because everybody that's tuning in is part of the book club. And every single time we're going to be doing a new book. So let's get started. Today's book is going to be The Millionaire Next Door. All right, guys. I kind of fell for this one too, because when you guys think of a millionaire, you guys think, all right, the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, the guy with the nice watch, designer brand, everything from shoes to tie to suit to pretty much got the big house with the pool and everything. But this book is perfect because it really dives in deep and tells you what actually a millionaire is. So there's like this idea of fame and fortune and designer bags and everything connected with millionaires, but in reality, it's not always like that. And this book is perfect because it dives in and talks about the details of actual millionaires in the US. So if we could summarize the entire book in one sentence, it would be this: wealth is more often the result of a life of hard work, perseverance, planning, and most of all, self-discipline. And the book, I like it because it categorizes different people. So it puts people into three different categories: PAW, AAW, and UAW. So PAW is prodigious accumulator of wealth. So someone that's, I guess you could say, above average. These people, compared to their age and income, their net worth is actually very reflective of what they have in the bank and not what they have out for display, I guess you could say. Because if you think about it, they might have money in the bank, but they might be living in a middle-class house with a middle-class car. And that's a PAW in their book. So the next one is an AAW, which is average accumulator of wealth, which a lot of people, believe it or not, haven't even gotten to this spot. The majority of the people are below this position, which is a UAW, under accumulator of wealth. So a lot of people, they make a lot of money, but in reality, they don't keep a lot of it. They're really good at making money, but they don't have a good job at keeping it. They spend it as soon as it comes in, it goes out. So these are some of the quotes from The Millionaire Next Door, directly from the book. This is what it describes as the majority of the millionaires. So usually the wealthy individual is a businessman who has lived in the same town for all of his adult life. This person owns a small factory, a chain of stores, or a service company. He has married once and remains married. He lives next door to people with a fraction of the wealth. He is a compulsive saver and investor, and he has made his money on his own. So self-made millionaires. 80% of American millionaires are first-generation rich. And one of the examples that it actually gives, and actually one that I researched as well, giving it two different spectrums of like millionaires, I guess you could say. So a lot of us might know who MC Hammer is, and a lot of us might know who Warren Buffett is. Two people that are millionaires. And to give you kind of like a quick example, MC Hammer, rapper, performer, made millions of dollars, and at one point was making around $70 million annually at his peak. That's crazy, guys. The other one was an investor, likewise a millionaire, but got his money throughout a long period of his career. millionaire as well, and now actually a billionaire. So MC Hammer, that's on the one spectrum, is a guy that earned $70 million, but a couple years later, after everything had died down, after he spent it all, he actually went into bankruptcy with $13 million in debt that he owed. At one point, he was buying like 17 supercars. He owned horses, like 21 horses. He continued to spend money on mansions and a helicopter, I believe, and a private plane. Whilst the other side, Warren Buffett, still lives in the same house that he's lived in for a long period of time, where he could easily go out and buy a multi-million-dollar house and not even blink an eye because he's got the money in his pocket, type of deal. He's got it. He's worth right now $112 billion. But years later, he's still increasing his income and how much he's earning from his investments by not touching them and also not spending as much as some other people. So it gives you those. I'm giving you guys these two examples, two extremes of like someone who really focuses in, saves a lot of money, invests that money, and continues doing that for a long period of time, versus someone who at the time everybody thought, whoa, this guy is big, he's going to do great things. And he did get a lot of money, especially at the time, because MC Hammer was super popular back in like the early 80s all the way to the 90s. And by 1996, completely bankrupt, 13 million in the hole. So two big spectrums. All right. The next thing that they talk about in the book is they really dive into the portion where it kind of gives you like a little calculator to figure out what your net worth is, because, or what your net worth is supposed to be at is the correct answer, like description of it. The best way to do it is to get your age. So whatever age you are, you multiply that by your income, and then you divide that by 10. So I'm going to use myself as an example. Now, this, with the exception of my age, this isn't actually accurate numbers. So 28 years old, $50,000 of income, which I think that's California. I think that's the average, or give or take the average from 30,000 to 50,000. So we'll say 50,000. And if you multiply 28 by 50,000 and then divide by 10, my net worth, if this was accurate, would be 100, or what it's supposed to be at this point is 140,000. That's a lot, guys. So if you guys want to test that out at home, figure out your income before taxes, get your age, your income before taxes, multiply it, then divide it by 10. That should be your expected net worth. I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. And it actually, the entire book actually like goes in and tells you a little bit of like major details about millionaires. It goes in and it talks about different like places that they go shopping, foods that they eat, even down to like what cars they have. And I believe it was out of 10, 3 millionaires own a Ford F-150. Now, if that is accurate right now? I don't think so, but it just goes to show that they don't buy the Mercedes-Benz. They don't buy the super luxurious items that all of us kind of connect millionaires or rich people with. They got to that point of millionaire status by doing what they continue to do every single year. And as they continue doing that, the more and more away from everything else that they get from. So If they're making millions of dollars in 1 year, the odds are they're not going to go spend it on a $100,000 car or buy a $1 million house just because they got 3 million in the bank. They're wise with their money. And that's what this book kind of dives in and describes these millionaires as. Very wise. And when it comes to their investments, they are on another level, guys, because a lot of people, especially with the whole Dogecoin, cryptocurrency and everything, those markets are very volatile, and it's like a roller coaster. It goes up, down, and you're like, buy, sell, buy, and you're pretty much a day trader at that point. And what this book describes millionaires as is long-term holders, long-term traders. So for their investments, they're not going in every single day, every single week, every single month to try to get out of a specific stock that they bought because they think it's going to crash and then they invest it into another stock. No, they just continue buying into a portion of that stock. So if it goes down, they're still buying. If it goes up, they're still buying. They're consistent throughout their entire investments. And it actually says that their holdings, that 20% of all these millionaires that they interviewed hold for about a year to 2 years of an investment. 25% of them 2 to 4 years. 13% of them 4 to 6 years, and 32% of all these people that they interviewed that are millionaires hold for 6+ years, guys. That is crazy. That means they're holding and they're not literally looking at their phones like, is it gonna pop? Is it should I sell? Should I buy more? Let's check YouTube. No, they're literally like, put it in, let it sit. If it goes up, awesome. If it goes down, awesome. At the end of the day, I don't care until I actually pull it out later on in the future. So these millionaires believe financial independence is more important than showing off a high social status. And most millionaires never expect some sort of inheritance from their family members. Most millionaires are self-made. All right, guys. So this book actually asks 4 questions that kind of everyone should probably be able to answer, but it asks these 4 questions to a lot of these millionaires, and each one of them could easily answer it. Like, this was like something like, okay, yeah, I can tell you that, because a lot of these millionaires hold these things to a high standard. Even once they have way more money in the bank, from the beginning to the end, they're still consistent with this stuff. So the first question that they had, that they were easily able to answer, all these millionaires were able to answer, was, does your household operate on an annual budget? A lot of them is yes. Do you know how much your family spends? This is second question number 2. Do you know how much your family spends each year for food, clothing, and shelter? Yes. Number 3, do you have a clearly defined daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, as well as lifetime goals? Yes. And the last one, do you spend a lot of time planning your financial future? The answer is yes to all these questions. So it kind of puts you in a position where you should be answering these questions as well. And you should be able to not only answer them, but have these goals, these financial plans to get you to where you want to be, if this is something that you want to do and become a millionaire as well. And the best part, I think, out of this book is the fact that the way that they describe it towards the end is, these people live among you. They're not like up in the mountains in the super nice 9-bedroom mansions. No, they literally could be your neighbor. They could be your neighbor driving a regular F-150, 3-bedroom house in a semi middle class neighborhood. They probably own a small plumbing business, a chain of laundromats, maybe 2 or 3 restaurants. They're regular Americans. They're your neighbors, the people that you rarely ever look at. They could be millionaires. And you would never know, because a lot of people think if the Mercedes-Benz isn't in the driveway, they definitely don't have money. They can't afford it. Well, the reality is they can afford it. It's just they choose to go with the Toyota Camry or the Ford F-150 or the more economical car that's going to be able to give them what they need, get them from point A to point B without being flashy, because they prefer financial freedom versus a high social status. So, guys, as I begin to end, I know this was a short episode, but I want to say thank you to everybody who's been tuning in for every episode of Lito's Room. I know it's kind of different than a lot of the other podcast episodes with other guests and the guys being here, the Bromigos being here. But I do appreciate everybody that's been tuning in. And I would encourage you, keep tuning in, because not only is the content going to get better, but the books, we're just going to go all out with this segment. You're going to see more books, more finance books. If you guys have any book reviews you guys want me to do on a specific book, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. I will definitely look in there and pick out a couple of them if you guys want me to. I've read a lot of books throughout my life so far, and I think I have plenty of content to do book summaries on, and I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to always reading a new book. So if you guys have any recommendations, or if there's anything you guys are anticipating seeing, I have a lot on the list. I'm willing to put more, and tune in, subscribe if you haven't, like, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and check out the description down below, because we have a affiliate link. We're working with Amazon now, guys. So go check out the links. You guys could check out this book and all our gear as well. So if you guys want to get started on podcasting, a lot of the stuff that we actually purchased is in the description, and you guys should check it out yourselves. See you guys.